Greetings, fellows. This is Renata Fox from Galactic Security, an alliance from Ashes of Korriban, and you're listening to the Escape Pod cast. This show was recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. And before we start, do you know how many Germans it takes to change a light bulb? Guess what? Only one. We are very efficient, and this is not a joke. Take it away, boys.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast,
the date for the Executor has been announced.
And also the style of the event as well.
Some are not too happy about it.
But there are others like myself who welcome it with open arms.
Another thing people are up in arms about, Google Play's removal energy.
Finally, there's some justice for Apple-only players, Neil. Well, sort of.
More changes are coming to some of our beloved characters.
I think it will also retroactively harm some of the previous raid teams.
Is this a blow to the early game?
There has to be more to come, and it's just getting a bit worrisome.
In this week's incoming transmission, we sit down with one of our favorite people to raid after the show.
After a few solid months of sending you all to him when we finish each week here on Twitch, we're gonna have SwampGrass420 right here on our show.
We will get to know him a little better and introduce you to him if you haven't been able to catch one of his streams.
And of course, the Hellion, the Noob, and Patreon's Choice on the Bridge.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Escape Pod Cast. I'm your host, the Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my hetero-like partner, Paul. Paul, how are you today?
I'm excited for not this coming week, but the following week, Neil, because the Executor is only 10 days away.
Yeah, Superstar Destroyer is close. I won't be getting it first straight away, like a lot of other people will be, but yeah, we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll be discussing the because I know nothing about the event. I literally only a couple of hours ago found out that it was being released in the next couple of weeks. I don't know how it's being released or what the event is or anything whatsoever. So yeah, it'd be interesting to hear all of that.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time in the game, in my opinion. A lot of people complain about ships, but ships are a part of it. It's kind of like, in my opinion, and I've said that so many times recently, it would be as if I went into a Call of Duty game and I said, well, I like this Call of Duty game and all, but I just don't like grenades. Grenades are just as lethal and important to use in a Call of Duty game as the guns.
But see, I would use a different analogy because you would use grenades and all. It's a different game mode. So I would analogize it as, yes, it's the same game, but it would be like having a PvP and then a battle royale, but there's not as much availability of choice and there's not as many options. So, you go PvP, you've got more scenes, more backgrounds, more tactics, more strategy, more weapons, more buffs, more this, more that. And then you go into a Royal Rumble or a Battle Royale type scenario of the exact same game, but less weapons available. less things that you can do with it, you know, and everything has to be done manually. Can't just do loadouts and stuff like that. So I would analogize it a slightly different way. It could be good, it could be great, it could be awesome. It just isn't at the moment. And a new capital ship, in all honesty, a new capital ship, one new capital ship is not going to fix all of the woes regarding ships.
Regarding ships, no, but it is going to change the game, in my opinion, when it comes to, GAC. I'm going to finally, if I have this ship, Neil, it could be my win button, right? I could finally have that win.
I like ships. I enjoy ships. So
your ships hold all the time in your lower divisions.
Yeah, we need to start somewhere. We need more ships. We need more capital ships. We need more regular ships, more tanks. We do need more ships. So, you have to start from somewhere. It's just the position they're starting from is a Galactic Legend fleet. And that's their starting point is here is a capital ship that is going to be more OP than all other capital ships combined. So I get and I understand, and I'm looking forward to the ship coming to the game. I just think, especially where Grand Arena Championships is concerned, it's going to screw people over. I would think of it a little bit, not entirely dissimilar, not very similar, but not entirely dissimilar to when the Revan Malik meta was in the game way back before GLs were even in the game. If your opponent had a Malik and a Darth Revan and you didn't, you were going to lose unless you had a boatload of other teams that you could stonewall one of the front territories with. You were not going to win. I didn't win. Those were, looking back at my record, those earlier ones, those earlier Grand Arena Championship week, those were my 2-1s. I had a lot of 2-1s, and it was because I was facing a Darth Revan with a Malik, and I had nothing to get past it. With a one shot, anyway. And I think that's what's going to happen with the. That's what I think is going to happen with the Superstar Destroyer in certain divisions. I think if two people have it in the higher divisions, it's not going to go on defense. Because both opponents will still want to clear each other. I think that what will happen is both opponents will simply opt for putting both get 2 fleets on defense and keeping the Superstar Destroyer to, mollywop one of the opponents. But and this is where the problem lies, because we don't have a lot of ships. If you go up against someone that has a Superstar Destroyer and you don't, you are going to need to save both your get-to fleets in the hope that you can double tap this Superstar Destroyer, which means you can't FU your fleet node, because to FU your fleet node would be to put your get-to down. If you put them on defense, you're more than likely not going to have enough offensive capabilities to get through the Superstar Destroyer. And even if
really quick, Neil.
Yep.
Well, I do have to acknowledge that Dickie Darkside, Dr. Feelgood, and Slugmug, the 3 of them combined have started a hype train.
Oh, chew effing chew.
Yes. I want to just quickly thank them. We will thank everybody who has contributed to the hype train as we go along. So thank you so very much. At the end of it, we will thank everybody who made it happen. All right. So you're saying I can't,
what I'm saying,
I'm going to put down in my theory, in my brain right now, I'm going to put down my Superstar Destroyer. And then I'm also going to put down, I'm thinking my Negotiator, because my Malevolence is great. My Finalizer can take out lower, what's it called? Lower negotiators, or Malevolence. I can easily take those with Finalizer. And then I've got my Rebel team, which is good as a backup.
That's great. What's in front of fleets? Oh, wait a minute. It's a ground force node. So your opponent looks at your roster, sees you've got a superstar destroyer. They don't have one. What do you think gets put in the territory in front of ships?
Well, that means I can
all the GLs. You're not going to get past.
I can put crap down on the floor. On the ground forces. And
if you
have all my strong stuff to be able to take all that stuff out. And this happened since our last show. I got Kyber for the first time. I tasted blood in the water now. I want it again.
See, and there's your prop. There's where you're going to lose. You're going to put trash down as ground, okay, and they're going to put their strongest teams. So if you don't get past it with your strongest, their weakest is just going to tear through your 3 ground territories. They won't even bother with your fleet. They'll get 3 territories. You won't get past the front door, and you won't even get to their fleet node just because you've got a superstar destroyer. You are still going to have to go strong on defense, even if they put an FU in front of you. And that's what I'm talking about. Here's the thing. Let's say let's say 1 or no GLs are involved and someone's got a superstar destroyer. It's much harder to put an FU defense down when you have no GLs. So sure, they put their CLS down and their Darth Revan down, and their gas down. Let's say they put those 3 teams down in front of the fleet node. You can then afford to put complete and utter trash on your ground troops because it's easy to one-shot those teams without requiring a GL. Okay, hence note what I'm talking about here. Without needing a GL, very soon, in order to beat a GL, you're going to need a GL. So if your opponent has 3 GLs or 2 GLs, those GLs are going to go on the node in front of the fleet because they see you have a superstar destroyer and they know you put it on defense. Okay, I'm just saying that for the have-nots, the option for a big ass Frank Underwood on that front door is going to be extremely tempting for your opponent. They might just completely leave the bottom 2 territories open. They might put everything that they've got, the strongest 3 teams that they've got, on that node in front of fleet, and just keep their fingers crossed that holds. Because if that holds, it doesn't matter what fleets you've saved to take out their weak source. It really doesn't matter because they will load up that door. They will load it up in front of door number 1, and they will put absolute trash on the back. And they'll just march through the trash that you put in front of your fleet node, and they'll keep their fingers crossed and pray to RNGesus that they can double or triple tap your superstar destroyer. The one thing that I see working more than anything, the one thing that I see that could potentially work. Now we have seen the reverse holdo maneuver being used, where your opponent is forced to use the holdo maneuver, and that we saw Gom do it recently. We saw him do it last week, and then when you go in for the double tap, they have no capital ship. I'm just wondering if the reverse can be done, and you can take Holdo's ship in against the Superstar Destroyer, take out the Superstar Destroyer so that you can then double tap the 3 ships that are, remaining. But whether or not that is a strategy that is going to work, I don't know. There is going to be no one-shot strategy against that Superstar Destroyer. There is either going to be there's going to be a double tap, or it's going to be nothing at all. So here's the thing. I think it's going to make Grand Arena Champion the Grand Arena Championship more exciting because there's going to be lots of new tactics and there's going to be lots of new strategy. But the people that just do FUs, there are going to be more FUs because, like I said, it's going to be very much like the Darth Revan Malik meta, where if you don't have it, your opponent's just going to be like, I can't beat that, I can't get past that, so I'm just going to put the best of the best of the best of what I got in front of my front door and hope that I can get 2 territories more efficiently than you can get my other 2 territories. And that's the way I see it.
Well, Nabokov fan, a good friend of ours, he actually says you could talk about GAC and the power curve all you want. Yes, it's an issue, but it seems that their plan is to also make you face these GLs as a gate in Conquest to stop certain things from being so easy to obtain. I didn't even think of that, but in Conquest, you do have modifiers for yourself that you can theory craft all you want.
Yeah,
and also you can reuse teams, unlike in GAC. So if you have Slacker that can beat Palpatine and Rey, and maybe every once in a while the Mirror, if you've got those, you can take out multiple parts of that Conquest. So
PvP is different from PvE. Crumb's already said this. Crumb has already said that the GLs and the characters that are being altered, changed, nerfed, however you want to describe it, the characters that those changes are primarily for PvP, not that it's not likely to affect PvE. So it's not likely to affect Conquest. It's not likely to affect like the gas event, for example. It's not likely to affect gas in the gas event. It's not likely to affect GLs that you face in any other PvE event. So I mean, it might. We don't know, but I would hazard that they're not looking to change the mechanics of the events if there's a GL in an event. So we'll just have to wait and see.
So we just had the hype train complete. Hellenix cheered 200 bits total, and Big Country Mags gave out 5 subscriptions. And then also our interviewee for tonight, SwampGrass420, rated us with a party of 4 during the live recording of the episode. So thank you to all of you for making that happen.
So yeah, I don't get hate. So it's not. I don't think that it's going to kill. I don't think for 1 second that it's going to kill GAC. That there'll be a blip for a few months. I just think that maybe they're being. I just think that maybe CG has been a little bit overzealous with the Superstar Destroyer. Getting the Superstar Destroyer, great, okay. But here's the thing. What's it going to be like for the next one? Are we going to need a half a dozen Gear 9s? What's it going to be like for the one after that? Do we need Gear 10s? You start off slow and you make a progression up. It would have been much, much, much more reasonable, and I think it would have been a hell of a lot more rational for them to think to themselves, right, okay, this is the first new capital ship that we're going to be bringing in that's kind of like a GL capital ship. So let's make it so that, the requirements for this one are all Relic 3s. And then 6 months later, they bring out another capital ship, just like the Superstar Destroyer. And they're like, okay, we're going to make this one a little bit tougher, but it's going to be a little bit tougher. We're going to make all of the requirements Relic 4. And you tear it up. What they've done is they've gone straight to the top end for this one ship. Every other new ship that they bring out after this is either going to be weaker than it or stronger than it. And if it's stronger, the requirements are going to be even steeper than the requirements for this Superstar Destroyer. And I get it, it's a Superstar Destroyer, it should be a boss ship. But the level of the requirements for the ship, I just think that they're too high. If this is how we're going to move forward with capital ships.
Okay, I've been sitting on this. I've been sitting on this whole thing in my mind. What did Crumb say about the whole that these galactic legends should not be easily counterable unless it's something that you have to invest as much into.
Yeah.
So for me, then, Sith Eternal Emperor should be crap. Kylo and Rey should be absolute crap, because you have to invest so much into getting all of these little pieces, Neil, in order to get your chance at Jedi Master Luke, because you have to relic so many other characters that aren't part of the actual JML requirements. So that to me says you're investing that much into this character. What if they make the Executor a requirement for Lord Vader, and then on top of that, not include Piet in any of these bounty hunters as part of his other requirements to unlock the ability to do that, to do his event? That to me, even if they put it at 5 stars like they did for the Finalizer and for Holdo's ship, whatever that was, I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. Radis, thank you. What if they made all of these things so steep? It now says that Lord Vader has an even bigger investment that you need, and I think that he should not be able to be beaten by Rey, be able to be beaten by Slacker or Sith Eternal Emperor, or technically even Jedi Master Kenobi, because his requirements, the only crazy thing is get to requirement. There's no cam. What is a guild time investment? It's am I mad?
Maybe a little.
Am I crazy?
But not in a bad way. The ship's not going to be a requirement for Lord Vader. Cam isn't going to be a requirement for Vader. The ship isn't going to be a requirement for Vader. It's going to be standard relic 5, 6s, and 7s with some 8s thrown in there, for good measure. Lord Vader. That's it. It's that simple. It's just going to be standard. Standard requirements for Lord
I think
Vader.
it is.
It's not going to require a ship. It's not going to require cam. So it's going to be equal. I mean, that doesn't. That's why I'm saying that the requirements for the Superstar Destroyer are just too high, because this is the first in a new era of capital ships. Clearly, this is the first in a new era of capital ships. It just is. And if they're going to be doing something like this every 6 months, giving us a new capital ship and maybe a new spattering of regular ships as well, how do we move forward, knowing that these ships are just going to make all other ships irrelevant?
Negotiator had to be 6-star. So if they make it to where the Superstar Destroyer just has to be 6-star or 5, or even 5-star, that still means that you need to get those characters up there in order to unlock it, which means that it's a bigger piece.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be the Superstar. Sure, that Bo says Bo suggesting Malevolence. I think it will just be one of the other capital ships. Maybe it will be the Malevolence that is required. The mirror ship. They might just mirror. That's the most logical way of thinking about it. I think that they'll probably just kind of mirror the requirements from a light and dark side point of view, with the exception of cam. Obviously, the light side mirror to cam to what would be CAM, like light side, dark side, GOTV. But it's already been confirmed that CAM isn't going to be one of the requirements for Lord Vader. So it will just be, another tough or pain in the ass. Well, I mean, we've already got to do a Tusken, one Tusken. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They missed a trick with that one. They should have just created a brand new Tusken that required people that want Lord Vader to wail on. That was a new Tusken leader that would have given the Tusken faction 5, and then CG would have made some extra dough. It's a financially dumb decision to not do that. I think the bean counters seriously missed a trick to make a few extra $100 from the whales by creating a new Tusken that was required that people would wail on, and then all of a sudden they're like, wow, this leader's going to make the Tuskens just as badass as GBA made the Geos, so I'm going to invest in that, and I'm going to invest in the Tuskens. Money, money, money. I don't understand why they didn't do that, but there will be.
Bodhi has the point, though. Bodhi says they already had the Bad Batch, so why wail on a new Tusken? Which he has a point. There's multiple Bad Batch in there. So we're going to take a break real quick. We're coming up at the top of the hour when we're recording this. So stay tuned. We will be back after these messages with even more of the talk about everything that came down this week, including breaking news that happened just before we went live on the air. We'll be back after these messages right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways, all for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply. Welcome to the Patreon Leaderboard. I'm Paul Anthony, and as always, I'm joined by my robotic life partner, Newbie from Hellion the Noob. This segment is brought to you by the Patreons of the Escape Podcast. Are you not a streamer but would love to have your GAC adventures featured here on the Escape Podcast and the weekly show GA Center? Well, sign up at the Kyber Combat level or higher at patreon.com/theescapepod. There's no cast in that one. And join in on the fun and see how much better you can do than I, which it's not hard. Let's get to it. Big Country Mags goes 2-1. This may very well be his last week on the Patreon leaderboard as he moves to the big boys on GA Center. Banners, 6,118. Not bad. 26 wins, 2 losses, 3 holds. D goes 1-2, 3,581, but with only 6 wins, I don't think he played all of the matches, so we'll just move on. Dark Helmet 0-3. Speaking of not playing all the matches, his join didn't register. We missed Dark Helmet, unfortunately, and he was near the top getting ready to win. That is, if Dr. JoJo would have dropped a battle, and Dr. JoJo did. 2-1 for Dr. JoJo. 7,421 banners, not bad. 33 wins, 2 losses, 1 hold. He did file a report. His report was as such. Let me pull it up here. He says that he dropped the ball at the finish line. Well, I don't think you did there, my friend. First time he's ever lost with his C versus Ray. He also dropped a battle with Revan versus GG and lost by 37 banners. He says top of Division 3 was a tough run, but hopefully Division 2 is going to be easier. Maybe we'll face each other, Dr. JoJo. Who knows? 4 Strong 1 goes 2-1, 5,785 banners, 24 up, 2 down, 4 holds. Hot Sauce, who, you know him. He's the maker of HotUtils. He goes 1-2. 7,130 banners. Still was not the most that we had. Dr. JoJo had 74. Wins 32, 6 losses, 5 holds. Schnarman 0-3. 2,490 banners, which was an auto set because 0 wins, 0 losses, 0 holds means he didn't play. Me. All right. I went 0-3. Let's get it out of the way. But guess what? The most banners this week, 7,931. Why? Because I was chasing Kyber like no other, and for the first time, I got it. 36 wins, 0 losses. That means I full cleared without any losses. I even had a hold. Now, 3-0 is a triple crown. 3-0 with a few losses is a triple whammy. If I went 36-0, but I go 0-3, I'm just going to call it a triple poly from now on. All right, let's look at the final boards. Dr. JoJo does take home the crown this month. Congratulations, Dr. JoJo. BCM goes 9-3. Hot Sauce at 8-4, along with 4 Strong. I went 7-5. Dark Helmet certainly would not have been tied with me if his join would have registered. D and Schnarman at 4-8. Guys, we would love to see you. Sign up for next week's Patreon leaderboard. Ends next week, so don't delay if you would like to join this fun little exercise we do every GAC week. I'm Paul Anthony. Be nice to each other, damn it. Coming up after this break, more of the show you're watching, GA Center or Escape Podcast.
We want you. Join the GAC Chain Gang today. This is the commander of the 506 Procrastination Battalion and the leader of the GAC Chain Gang. I am sending out a call to action for any SWGOH content creators on Twitch who would be willing to broadcast their GAC attack rounds alongside some of our best, including Mr. Jigabachi, Dr. Zeppers, Rico 1982, and the Bounty Honeys. What is the Chain Gang, you ask? We are an amazing group of content creators who are dedicated on streaming the Grand Arena Championship attack rounds on Twitch. The idea is to provide continuous content back-to-back from one streamer to the next and allow the viewers to enjoy more SWGOH content as well as enjoy the variety of streamers that are currently present in the group. If you are interested in joining the Chain Gang, please reach out to myself on Discord at AndyBeads, #7465, or you can send us a message on our Twitter page at ChainGAC. Join us today. We have your back.
The Escape Pod Cast.
And welcome back, everybody. We've had a little break, and it's time to talk about some more stuff. There's plenty of stuff to talk about in the game this week, that's for sure. So, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, first off, the main thing I want to talk about is that as we went live, just before we got word from, let's see who it is. Oh, I switched off that screen. I think it was Doja. that had mentioned that starting on the 16th, the same day that the Executor comes out, we will be getting our first ship involved Galactic Challenges.
Yay!
Well, at least you'll be able to get past the first 3 parts.
Yeah, I'll be able to get past the first 3 tiers. I'm just, I'm just. It's like they'll be like, I just think I think it'll be doable. I don't think for 1 second that it's not going to be possible to complete tier 10. I'm not saying, but they're going to create ridiculous feats. It's going to be BAM all over again. But that's what it's gonna be, BAM all over again. In order to get tier 10 and all the feats so that you can get the maximum rewards, you're going to need something that is only obtainable by a very select group of players. And everybody's going to be like, what? I don't have BAM yet. I can't do that feat. This sucks. And they'll be, it'll be, you need the Razor Crest at 7 stars in order to get this feat. And everybody be like, well, that's not. So my concern isn't that it's not going to be doable. Not that it isn't going to be fun. Not that it isn't going to be, a theory crafter's wet dream. My fear is that they're going to create feats that stop people getting the maximum rewards for some tiny little requirement that they just can't get, because it's just not physically possible for them to get it yet. I have my 7-star ban now. If they ever brought back that feat, I'd be able to do it. But when they kept on rolling that damn thing every other challenge, when I could be bothered to do challenge, it's like, oh well, I see that and it instantly turned me off. If I saw the BAM feat in there, I would not even bother with challenges, because it's like, why bother trying? I can't get maximum rewards. I'm never going to get the maximum rewards because I don't have that character. And that's my fear with feats, is you need X ship X in order to do it, and it's like, I don't have it, and it's not something I'm going to be able to get. So yeah. And it's not like an event. It's not like, oh, we're going to do this in X amount of weeks' time. Here's your opportunity and chance to prepare for it. It just gets dropped on you, and if you can't do the feats, screw you guys.
I just know that I'm excited for it, and we're finally going to be able to use all of our roster, like they mentioned that we would have to be that we would be able to do. And part of our roster, as I said, it's like going into Call of Duty without grenades. Sure, you can win, but it's not using the entire range of things.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. It's not going to make me love challenges all of a sudden. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. But will I participate? Sure, I'll give it. I will do what I normally do on challenges. I'll open it up. I'll have a look, and if I don't think I've got a Halfpenny's chance, I won't bother doing it at all. If I think I can do it with a little bit of grit, determination, and a little bit of elbow grease, I'll go in and I'll try it and have a couple of goes and tweak things here and there, and maybe I'll get maybe I'll get into it. But if I look at it and I don't think for a second that I'm going to be I'm not going to waste my time with
it. Mary J says, I hope the Executor's ultimate is the Death Star. From what he was saying, I would love the way that Doja introduced the ship, saying it will blow you away.
Mm-hmm.
We immediately speculated that it is going to be an insta wipe. Now, that being said, I do think that the common counter to it is going to be a maxed out Radis team. We're talking about the Executor again.
Yeah.
It's I don't think that it will be able to get to ultimate before Radis goes off, but you're going to need such speedy ships with a Mac, who knows, Relic 9 might allow you to get that speed enough on those ships to take out an Executor.
We shall see. We shall see. It's all wait and see, and that's the thing is we know that it's going to be OP because we keep getting told it's going to be OP, and you've got to take into consideration the requirements. The requirements are so ridiculously high for this that the reward has to be equally high. It has to be. If they bring this, and here's the thing that I think, if they bring the ship out and Skeletrix comes up with a standard fleet to beat it, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think the fleet is going to be nerfed, or do you think that they're just going to make it even more OP? They're just going to make it even more OP.
That's why I'm going for it. I am stating right now, I am going hard for Piet's ship.
I just fear that all here's the thing. It's not. There are that Fleet Arena at the moment is relatively stale because it's all negotiators and malevolences. And just outside the top 20, you might see a couple of finalizers. You might see a couple of Relic Mill fleets, but in the top 10, where all of the Relic 8 malevolences and all the Relic 8 GKs are, that's why you see that. As soon as this ship drops, it's just going to be everybody that's got it, and that's it. And like I said, I don't doubt for a second that the Superstar Destroyer is going to be double tappable in GAC, but in Squad Arena there is no double tap. There is no cleanup. If you do not hit it first time, you're screwed. And unlike the modifiers that I'll be very, very interested to see in Galactic Challenges, because I think that they're going to. I'm really, really curious how they're going to make the modifiers work on the ships. That's going to be very, very interesting. Unlike that, it's going to be how's it going to work? Because different capital ships do different things. I mean, could you just go in with the Radis and get to the ultimate and then kill? I just I don't know how it's going to work, but I do know how it's going to work in Squad Arena. And in Squad Arena, it's going to be if you've got a Superstar Destroyer, you win. You go to the top. And if it gets beat by a Get To fleet, CG are going to be like, we cannot have it getting beaten by these Get To fleets. Make it stronger. Oh, somebody's found another counter. Make it strong. And they'll just keep making it stronger until it cannot be beat. And then it's like, right, okay, what's our next Galactic Legend capital ship going to be 6 months down the line? And I'm scratching my head as to what the hell they're going to bring in. Because between now and then, it's just like, interchangeable capital ships, but, no smaller ships to go with it. Where the hell is it going?
Right. I could also see a Rebel frigate instead of the Home One, a Rebel frigate being the next.
I mean, there are some really, really big ships from Star Wars lore that they could use for it. There are, but how much wiggle room does CG have to do that? Just how much wiggle room do they have? How much control do they have over the next GL capital ship that's going to come out, either at the end of this year or next year? Because shiploads of content, has to mean more than just one extra capital ship. It's got to be more ships.
I'm just excited about it. Well, let's get into what a lot of people. And by the way, in also learning that the Executor was coming on the 16th, we also are now in the midst of a galactic chase for the Razor Crest. mine is 7-star. I am happy.
Yeah, mine's 6-star. I still need about 60, 70 shards to take mine to 7-star. I'll get there. I'm not in any particular hurry. I'll get there. I'm not in a particular hurry. It's not like I don't use the ship, so it's not like I don't use him. I don't use him on defense. I don't use him on offense. I don't use him. So I'm not that fussed when he hits 7 stars. When he hits 7 stars, yay! Until then, don't care. I just don't care.
So, okay. On top of that, we got, just before going live as well, a kind of a confession. I don't know if that may be the right word, but we had a announcement. Let me click on the show prep part of the server that we have on the back end here. I want to give the words exactly from the mouth of Doja. Hi, Hollow Table Heroes. Or I'm sorry, Hero Table Hollows. I even messed up my own joke. Contents of both of the packs purchased via Google Play points have undergone some changes. Energy previously available in the packs was replaced with gear, credits, and shipbuilding materials. The impetus for the change was to reduce the disadvantage to players who were unable to purchase the packs due to regional or platform differences. Finally, iOS users get their day of vengeance. Android users, if you're unfamiliar with this, Neil, Android users.
No, I know exactly what this is.
Yeah, they could okay. Well, I was kind of parlaying that into our listeners who don't know what this is. They would wail on something, or there'd be promotions where you would get Google Play points, where you get so many points for every $1 you spend. And then those packs included gear, which would allow people to just wail out and get gear. And included in that, they would also get energy and hoard these astronomical units of energy. I found that to be kind of a unfair advantage, and I think I mentioned this when JMK was about to be released. I found that to be an unfair advantage for people that used Android to be able to do it. Helenix says it was a bullcrap post because most iOS users have BlueStacks, and it's such and Helenix, I'd like to remind you that you yourself don't have a computer. So you saying that it's bullcrap for somebody, if I was in the same situation as you, but I had an iOS device, I wouldn't be able to use a computer that I didn't have to use BlueStacks to get that. So the fact that they don't have the ability to do this if they wanted to sucks. I'm glad that the energy is gone. That is my biggest problem. That you cannot now wail out to have all this energy in anticipation of a big release, because you just pound your Wales Fargo card, because without it you cannot purchase, and you know this, Neil. You cannot purchase, once you hit a certain level, energy through the game's top bar, or clicking on saying I want more energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't do it in the game, there shouldn't be a way to buy that is only available for certain groups. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Right. Okay. My thoughts on it are quite simple, actually. Let's punish. In order to level the playing field, it wasn't fair on this group of players, and it wasn't fair on this group of players, and this group of players, through no fault of their own, were being given an advantage over this group of players. So, in order to level the playing field, we'll crap on these players. Instead of doing something to elevate the other group and offer some kind of level playing field by increasing what they got, by coming up with a reward scheme for iOS, they just thought we'll take away from Android.
Okay, it's not just Android, Neil.
We'll take away from Android and the other. Then the point of the matter is, instead of elevating and leveling the playing field, they've gone to the side that isn't, and they're taking away. This isn't something, that
this is also geographical.
I'm conceding that it's also geographical. What I'm saying is, instead of addressing the issues of raising up the people that weren't getting, they're taking away from the people that are getting. It's a wrong, in order to create equity, they're taking away from people. It doesn't sit well with people. When you take something away in order to create equity, the people you take away from get resentful. If you start taking away from people who spend, whose money you need, you're going to antagonize them. You're going to piss them off. Okay? I don't have skin in that. I'm a consumer. I'm not a, I'm a consumer, not a customer. So I don't have any skin in the purchasing game. So I was never making any rewards that I wouldn't get through iOS or from any specific geographical location that I'm in. If they knew that this was going to be a problem further down the line, maybe they shouldn't have been offering rewards in the first place. That's not the fault of the people that were getting the rewards for spending money in the game, in the Google store in the first. That's not their fault. They spend money, they get rewarded. The people who are in different geographic locations and use iOS, they spend money, they're not rewarded for spending money.
But what if it's illegal, like in some parts of the world, to give them rewards for this so they don't get it? What about the Canadian spender who spends buku bucks on this game but doesn't get the rewards as well? They're behind against a fellow Android user that doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Or that does get it.
This issue only reared its head because so many people were able to get GK on day one. Prior to people getting GK on day one, nobody was really talking about this. No one was really discussing it. It wasn't really on CG's radar. Now it's on CG's radar, and they've just gone, right, we'll just take the energy away. Just take the energy away. And 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks from now, this will die down. Nobody will care about it. It's the flavor of the month. This conversation is the flavor of the month, and a month from now, nobody's gonna care. The free-to-play don't care anyway, because like I said, we're consumers, not customers. We're just there for the customers to spend their money and beat us over the head with their money sticks and their wallets and their credit cards. That's the symbiotic relationship between free-to-play and pay-to-win. We are here to take the punishment. We get the poundings. So we don't have any skin in the game. But a month from now, nobody's going to care about this. It's just one of those ticks in the box so that when we get to the end of the year and we give our CG annual report, we go, what good did they do that is worth praising, and what bad did they do that's worthy of criticism? This is one of the things that is worthy of criticism, and the heavy, big spenders will not forget. They will not forget. Somebody that's spending hundreds, if not thousands, a month on this game, and they dutifully spent their money, got their points, hoarded their energy so that they could get their next big thing. Because you've got to remember the people that the majority of the people preemptively preparing for these Galactic Legends are spending money in order to preemptively prepare for these Galactic Legends. They're not going to do that if they can't get their Galactic Legend on day one. So this is only going to hurt. This is only going to come back.
They can still do it. They just have to spend more to do it.
And they have to wait. And they have to wait longer.
No, they can continue to buy the energy packs. They could continue, and by energy packs, I mean the in-game energy packs, which they'll probably release at the same time.
Yeah, but that's capped at 2,000.
That's capped at 2,000 for
the energy on the other packs wasn't capped.
But you're still okay. So the energy is capped at 2,000. Yes, you're right. But guess what? You spend the energy, you can then go spend your crystals and get more energy.
You can't go over 2,000. You can't spend more crystals to get more energy once you go past 2,000.
But you can. Once you're at 2,000, you can not farm your tickets.
Yeah.
Through that use of energy, and instead you're using Cantina energy to get your 600 a day.
Yeah, and do you know how long it takes to do? It takes forever to do that. Whales,
yes, it does.
Whales do not want to, nor should they have to, wait for stuff. The whales and the krakens they're the people that pay the bills. Okay, they're the people that pay the bills. They're the ones that keep the game running. The whales and the krakens should always, always, always be kept happy. They should always be rewarded. They are the guys and gals that keep the lights on. You don't piss off the krakens. And something like this is going to piss off the krakens.
Mary J's saying there is no cap. There is a cap of what you can purchase.
What you can purchase. Mary J, when I was hoarding when I was going for JML, right, I was hoarding my energy every single day, and I would spend 150 crystals doing energy refreshes that I would then hoard. When I hit 2012 and I attempted to spend 50 crystals to buy 120 energy, I couldn't. It said you cannot purchase with crystals an energy refresh once you've gone past 2,000. I could have just collected my bonus energy at those 3 times during the day and just continued to hoard that way, but doing it that way takes forever. It would take forever. So I just spent my 2,000, and then I had to wait to get my GL. I think it was about a week. So I saved up 2,000, and then in order to do the other ones to get my JML unlocked, it was a week's worth of spending energy and so on and so forth. So I did have to wait. But there is a cap. You cannot buy with crystals energy beyond 2,000. You can go beyond 2,000 in energy, though, by collecting and hoarding your bonus energy. So,
all right, we are up against a break. We will try to get to just to give you information. They have changed Slacker's AI, so you can't Rex. You can't Rex cheese it. And also, they have added the raid boss performance ability stoppage to C-3PO's Confusion, Darth Treya's Isolate, Greedo's Threaten, and Jango Fett's Conflagration. If we have time, we'll definitely get into those. We may have to push it till next week because we do have a special guest coming up. But speaking of coming up, after this break, we are going to be talking to the person that we love to raid after the show every single time. But this time, they're going to be coming to us. SwampGrass420 coming up after this break right here on the Escape Podcast.
the Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hello, Escape Podawans. It is the Llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Castaways are on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, you can catch us on YouTube and on Twitch every week streaming Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, LEGO Legacy Heroes Unbox, your favorite new Galaxy of Heroes show GA Center, and so much more. Come catch us on the web.
Heinzie from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinzie on YouTube today, because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen, and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinzie today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways Network.
The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, Podawans, and welcome back to Storytime with Uncle Thad and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite characters, Count Dooku, and where in the canon his kit actually fits. Count Dooku was a Force-sensitive human male from the planet Sereno. He was born during the era of the High Republic. His father, Count Gora, was not really comfortable with Dooku's Force sensitivity and considered him to be a freak. It was Gora who contacted the Jedi Order and told him to come get his boy. Clearly, Gora wasn't expecting any Father of the Year awards. At a young age, having been raised in the Jedi Order, Dooku returned to Sereno for an exhibition of his Jedi skills. During this trip, he would meet his would-be sister. The two began a relationship. Not a backwoodsy, Outer Rim style relationship, but one that would allow the two to get to know each other as brother and sister. It would be this relationship that would eventually pull Dooku back to Sereno and don the title of Count. During his adolescence, Dooku continued his studies at the Jedi Temple and developed friendships with other Jedi. One Jedi in particular was Sifo Dyas, and he would become Dooku's lifelong friend. During his time as a Jedi, Dooku gained the rank of Master and was eventually given a seat on the High Council. As a Jedi Master, he trained Qui-Gon Jinn and Rael Averross. It was the latter Jedi who eventually introduced Dooku to the Senator Sheev Palpatine. And you know where it goes from there. Eventually growing disillusioned with the Jedi Order, Dooku left the Council and the life of the Jedi behind him and returned to Sereno. While there, he overthrew his brother and claimed the title of Count for himself, as well as his family's very vast fortune. It was during this time that Count Dooku was approached by Darth Sidious and began his training as a Dark Lord of the Sith. Dooku sought to rid the Galactic Republic of the corruption and inefficiencies that plagued it. It is this Sith Lord, also known as Darth Tyrannus, that we see in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Dooku's basic ability highlights his skill with a lightsaber. I mean, he was really freaking good with a blade. One could even say he was stunning to watch in combat. His first special ability is called Force Lightning. Now notice that this ability is called Force Lightning, not Sith Lightning. This is just another name for it. A third name for it is Storm of Midnight Fire, which sounds so freaking epic that we should all adopt that as the official name for the ability. Now, say it with me. Storm of Midnight Fire. I know you're not saying it. I can feel it. One more time with enthusiasm. Storm of Midnight Fire. Alright, fine. Close enough. Dooku's second special ability is Master of Makashi, and Dooku was a master of this second form of lightsaber combat. Makashi focused on the combatant's speed, precision, and focused movements. But most importantly, this style of lightsaber combat was specifically designed for lightsaber to lightsaber combat, which up to this point, the Jedi didn't have much experience with because they didn't really fight against lightsabers all that often. But as such, his opponents didn't really know how to defend against him, which made it so useful. Now, Dooku's leadership ability is called Nefarious Connections, and let's face it, Count Dooku was everywhere. He worked with the Sith, the Separatists, the Night Sisters, Assassins, Death Watch, and of course, the amazing, incomparable Hondo Ohnaka. Now, his work with Hondo was less out of mutual benefit, and more because Hondo tried to kidnap him and ransom him. Regardless, he had some pretty nefarious connections. Dooku worked with just about everyone, and for those Separatists who actually listened to him, they became powerful. But what's interesting about Count Dooku's leadership ability, its benefits are almost entirely offensive. Since he had access to a nearly endless supply of droids, he didn't really need to focus or worry about defending against the Republic attacks. The Count's final and only unique ability is called Flawless Riposte, and it really highlights his skill with the saber. Dooku never fought with anything else. Think back. Can you remember a time when he fought with anything but his iconic lightsaber? Me neither. And because he was such an exceptional lightsaber combatant, he was able to turn a defensive posture into an attack and gain the advantage over his opponent. Like I said, Count Dooku is one of my favorite characters. He is one of the most complex characters in all of Star Wars canon. While I only covered the highlights of his story, Count Dooku lived a rich and interesting life. If you're interested in reading more about his story, I suggest you look at the books, comics, and audio dramas including Dooku Jedi Lost, Master and Apprentice, Dark Disciple, and Darth Maul Son of Dathomir. These are all wonderful stories that you can learn more about Count Dooku and his life, his practices, him as a Jedi, him as a Sith. It is a very fascinating story. And I think there's a way you can get some of these for free.
Shameless self-promotion.
Well, that's all for me, folks. Tune in next week for more story time with Uncle Thad on the Escape Pod Cast for Kids.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for an incoming transmission. Paul, introduce our guest.
I absolutely will. Our next guest, you have noticed if you are watching live on Twitch when we raid, he's one of our favorite targets to send you guys to. But unless you've spent some extra time there, you really haven't gotten to know him. So that's what this is all about. From the frozen parts of America's hat that we consider a swamp, he is the best rave dancer in the galaxy. He's also a very, very awesome outdoorsman, he told me. And, I would love to go catch some Canadian fish. It's true. But I digress. He is the Canadian Guy Fawkes, as you can see from behind him.
Fawkes. Guy
I said Fawkes.
You said Fox.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Enunciate. If you're going to talk about, people
I need the dental work done so I can enunciate, Neil.
Remember the 5th of November.
Ladies and gentlemen, straight out of Canada, I bring to you SwampGrass420. What is going on, Swampy? How are you?
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate that. Good to be here.
So let's start with the normal questions. Tell us how long you've been playing, where your account is right now, and are you aquatic in your spending nature at all?
All right, so I first started playing the game around when it first came out. It was actually probably a week or two after, so like pretty early. And the account that was on, I don't have anymore. Basically, that was with a ex-girlfriend. She had a device. I played it on her device. That's her account now, basically.
Does she still play?
Actually, I would have to check in with her, but I know a few years ago she was still playing. But so she actually had a pretty interesting roster. But anyways, so then a couple years later, I actually had no phone for 2 years. That was a personal choice. It was quite an interesting 2 years. I carried around a notepad. That was my cell phone. So anyways, as soon as I got a new cell phone, first thing I put on that phone, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And that was approximately 3 years ago. So my main account is about 3 years. And
where's the GP level?
Hold on, I have it up right now. It's changing so much these days. 3.81 mil is my account.
What div is that, Neil?
That would put him in.
I'm testing him.
5.
Is it div 5?
I believe it's div 7.
Hang on.
But then again, I did go up GP.
Div 5 is 4.5. Div 6 is 3.1. Yeah, because to get into Div 5, it's 4.5.
I know I used to be in Div 5.
Yeah. To get into Div 6 is 3.1. I'm sure it is.
Well, I definitely was less GP when the season started, but I think I was definitely higher than 3.1. I think I was around 3.6. So, yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's a Div 7, but yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah, Div 5 is 4.5 to 5.1. So, and if that's Div 5, then Div 6 would be the 4.5 to... Oh, Div 5 is 4.5 to 3.85. And that would be Div 6. So Div 7 would be 3.1 to 3.85. So yeah, you would be Div 7.
So they got a little bit more to go before you'd be GA Center eligible.
Got a little bit further to go, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. All right.
So 3.1-ish. Have you spent money?
Okay, so I have spent money. Mostly it was in the early days of my account. I bought Hyperdrive Bundle pretty much when it first came out. that was kind of when I started getting serious about the game and learning about how to properly build up mods, all that kind of stuff, and even just understanding the way that the factions work and stuff. I feel like I was kind of blindly bloating my roster before that. And so, yeah, I'm kind of recovering from that. But as I grow, it kind of is reducing that bloat too, right? Because all those characters that were semi-built are now becoming parts of like actual functional teams. So I feel like the bloat is kind of fixing itself now that I'm progressing in the game. And I do also have an alt account. It's at about 1.6 million. That was, I think, started about a year and a half ago or so.
What was the inspiration for that?
Basically, there was a period on my main account where it was not active, probably about 5 months or so. And then after that, I found the arena shard was just way too intense. There was no way I could compete. So I figured if I had a fresh start, I would have a better chance at doing well in arena. And also I wanted to make my alt account like very focused and try not to have that that crazy bloat that I have on my main account. So yeah, that was kind of the idea there.
Are you sticking with it?
Oh yeah, that one's like fully active every day. I actually did make a third account, but it's kind of just a novelty one that I log into every now and then just for something fun to do.
So what's your average monthly GP climb? With you, because people who spend tend to the average. I would say the average GP bloat is usually between 100k and 200k a month. Whales and krakens tend to be between 200 and 300, sometimes even 400,000 a month. Where would you put your monthly bloat at?
Honestly, I feel like it varies way too much for me to really put a number on it, because for the longest time I was at around like 3.4 mil, and I just, yeah, it feels like that was my number for like a very, very long time. And then I unlocked Gas, got him 7-star, unlocked Malevolence the same day, and brought the droid ships from level 1 unactivated to 85, like not fully max, but getting there. So basically my GP this month has jumped up over 300k, whereas it was more stagnant before that, kind of, yeah, I would say less than 10k a month if I were to try to put a number on it.
Yeah, I've done. I mean, I personally have done 600,000 in a month, and that was on my alt account when I was at during the old division metrics, the old GAC metrics. So you would go 4.5 would take you into Div 1, and Div 2 would be 3.8, 3.8 to 4.5. So literally I was on that cusp at 3.8, so I was at 3.7999, and then as soon as I locked in for Division 2, the other way around, going into Division 2. Sorry, so I didn't want to go into Division 2.
Yeah.
So I held off at 3.7 and something like that, and then as soon as I locked in for Division 3, I went ham that month and activated and upgraded every single ship, because I knew I was going to ship nodes and all of that. I went from just under 3.8 to 4.4 in a month. That's my highest.
Wow.
And that was that just because I wanted to be ready. I didn't want to go into Division 2, the old Division 2, without enough ships to be able to, pack a powerful punch. So yeah, I went absolutely ham, taking crews to 11 gear 11, so I could max ability. Yeah, it was bonkers. So it is possible, but once you've done that but once, then you just go back to the regular, the usual monthly bloat of between 1 and 200, and sometimes maybe 300 if you take a new character and you hit them at 7 stars and you take them straight up to a high relic number. If you're adding like 30, 40, 50,000 just on one character, then yeah, it can bloat your account.
For sure.
Have you ever done that? Is that something you've ever done?
Whale on a character? Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
So you're there, you're farming for a character, and they hit that 7-star mark, and you're like, right, I know that this is an effective character. Let's spend a little bit of moolah and get them, get them to a nice high relic number. Is that something you've ever done before?
So normally that's not really something that I've done, but actually today on stream, the guild leader from my guild,
This is what I was just about to ask you. Are they by chance Epic Creeper?
That is one of the people from my guild.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. He's a big first order fanatic, that guy. He has his SOKR and stuff. But anyways, so today on my stream, the guild leader, Monsieur Chad is his name. He may be in the chat there potentially. But anyways, shout out to Chad. He had an idea where we would have an RNG wheel with all the characters on it, minus the GLs and minus JKL and minus Bad Batch. And then we spin this wheel, see what character it lands on, and he would donate half of what it would take to bring it up to Relic 8. And right at the last minute, he gave me a mercy and said we could do 3 rolls and I would pick the best one. The first roll was Chief Nebbit. I was like, oh no. Second roll was Tuscan Shaman. And I'm like, oh, this is going really bad. Third roll was actually Admiral Piet, but I don't have enough shards and there's not really enough ways to get the shards right now. So we just decided to do a reroll, which is unfortunate. I would have loved for that to be the end result.
I mean, it would get you closer to Executor.
Yeah, absolutely. So we did a reroll and it ended up being Sunfac, which was much more feasible for me. I already had him G12, so, kind of ready for it. And yeah, we brought him up to Relic 8, and that's probably the most I spent in one day in the game.
So now you are the proud owner of a Relic 8 Sunfac.
Absolutely.
If anybody would like to to do that, and they donated to help make this happen.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd really want to put my money where my mouth is, but I would love to spin the wheel just to see.
Yeah, it's one of those curiosity things, eh? I'll tell you, I was sweating though. When that wheel was spinning, I was sweating. I was saying the Chirrut Imwe saying, I am one with the Force. The Force is with me.
The Nabaka fan actually says, I wonder how his ship is now. I'll tell you this. I have Sunfac is my initial in my arena team. I run the Malevolence with Hyena and Vulture, and Sunfac is my first in. And then I have Spy come in from the bench. I have Spy at Relic 8. Spy is quite literally my delete button.
Yeah.
If I don't like something on the screen, I bring the Spy in, it targets something, and I go, goodbye, and it's gone. So I'm thinking Sunfac's ship, I think you got the good end of the deal there.
Yeah. I think ship-wise, that's probably the biggest value in Sunfac, potentially. But another thing I wanted to say about Malevolence is a lot of the Malevolence fleets that I play against in arena, I use my Negotiator. A lot of them have Sunfac, Hyena Bomber, and the Vulture Droid. And then this one guy, he has Spy in his starting lineup. It is the hardest Malevolence I have faced out of all of them.
It's because of the full assist.
Yeah, turn 1, I use Houndstooth in my starting lineup because I don't have the Y-Wing up quite yet. He's 6-star, ready to go. But so first turn, my Houndstooth gets deleted. Now I'm like, oh shoot, who do I even bring out for a reinforcement? Like, it just throws off the whole strategy. And yeah, kind of interesting.
So
I would still take Sunfac over any of the other geos any day of the week. It's tried, tested, and true. It works. unless you get like totally screwed on RNG, in which case it does happen every now and then. We all know it happens every now and then. You know, 9 times out of 10, the tried and tested method, Sunfac starting, is always going to work, and having a Relic 8 Sunfac is definitely not.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it.
So, you do a lot of I see you doing a lot of GAC on your on there, but you also are doing other events. What's your favorite part of the game to stream?
My favorite part of the game to stream, honestly, so for me, the reason I love to stream is I just love talking about this game. Like, even in real life, I'll like talk to people and they're just like ignoring me, looking at their phone. They don't even play the game, right? I'm just blabbering on. But so yeah, I love being able to just go off about something. So my favorite thing is when a newcomer to the game comes into my stream, asks for a roster review, they need some help, and I just start giving them advice. They're, especially if they're very receptive and they are accepting the advice, and yeah, then I start delving into mods and all this stuff. I just start going on like a real tutorial for them, and to me, that's my favorite part. Is just instructional speaking, I guess.
Do you do a YouTube channel as well?
I do not, but I do have some videos that are ready to be YouTube videos. Life is pretty busy and it's hard for me to make the time. So one day,
I'm right there with you at the moment.
Yeah.
So, Nev, what other questions you got for Swampy here while we got him?
3v3 or 5v5?
Okay, so first off, right off the bat, 5v5. But I must say, I do like 3v3 more than what it appears the community likes, because I see quite a few people saying how much they hate 3v3. And I don't hate 3v3. I don't like it as much as 5v5, but I do enjoy that there's like a different style of game mode that we don't experience anywhere else in the game. We get to try out some weird things. Sometimes you come up against something that's like a really oddball team. You think you're just gonna blow through it, and then all of a sudden it like hangs you up and you're like, wait a sec, there's something to this team. So you start experimenting with theory crafting and stuff like that. So I do enjoy 3v3 to some degree.
All right. What do you have coming up on your channel?
Coming up on my channel, I don't know, lots of fun stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Just like to play a day.
Literally playing the game. I noticed this. You take delight in playing the game, not just a feature of the game. You're like, hey, I'm gonna start doing my dailies right now, and then people watch you. You have that personality. I love it.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy to hear that. That's how I feel my stream is. It's like come hang out with me while I play the game kind of thing, rather than being like, hey, here's Conquest, here's how to do good in Conquest, here's the assault battles, and we're gonna go for challenge tier 2 or whatever. It's all just come hang out, let's have a beer, let's talk Star Wars, let's talk SWGOH, let's have a good time.
Neil, any questions before we wrap up, because we are sadly running out of time. This show has flown by.
Yes, it has been a quick one. So no, I'm all good, mate. I'm all questioned out.
All right. So Swampy, how do people find you if they're listening and they don't want to go looking in the show notes? Audibly tell people where you're located.
All right, so I'm on Twitch at SwampGrass420. That's the name of my channel, twitch.tv/SwampGrass420. I also have a Discord server. The link for that would be in the About section of my channel if you guys want to check it out. Notifications on there whenever I go live. Also, if I'm running behind or something, because I like to keep to a fairly strict schedule, but if I am running a bit behind, that Discord is where you find out about it, guys.
Awesome. And if you want to send me send me a link that you want me to use in the show notes for your Discord, I will put that Discord in the show notes as well for you.
All right, that sounds good.
Anything else? I did want to ask you that this is the final question. Is it true that, or did my eyes deceive me, that you have a dance channel point redemption?
Absolutely. If you guys want to come into my stream for, I can't remember how many channel points, but if you go in there, rank up some channel points, you can get me to do a liquid dance. Back in the day, I was a big raver, so I spent a lot of time practicing this style of dance. And also hand flow, that's where it's just a smaller version where I don't stand up and dance. I just do it in front of the screen. It looks something like this.
Is that Big Fish, Little Fish cardboard box? Big Fish, Little Fish cardboard box.
No, it's that's
British
awesome.
raving.
If he had glow sticks in his hand, I would be mesmerized.
That's raving in the UK. Big Fish,
yes.
Little Fish cardboard box.
Honestly, that's not far off, but that's just the guys who haven't been practicing it and don't quite have the skills. That's like their imitation version. They're like, look at me, I'm fitting in, you know.
So the hand flow, I just want to verify. The hand flow is 300 channel points, but the whole liquid style dance is 1,500 channel points, and it is amazing to watch.
Yeah, you guys should check it out for sure. If you guys want to see some cool dance moves, come on down. And like I said before, best raver in the galaxy. If anybody wants to challenge me, come on out.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. SwampGrass420, go check him out. An amazing watch. Coming up in this break, we are going to do the latest episode of Helly and the Noob. A new one is so close by, and a little bird told me that it's certainly going to be one you're not going to want to miss. But catch up on the latest episode right now in this break, and after that we're going to go to the bridge with Patreon's choice. If you're a Patreon, get your question in on the server. If you're not, redeem your channel points. Ask us a fourth segment question. We'll answer it live on the show right after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or territory wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
And now time for something completely shameless.
We pick up exactly where we left off at the end of the last episode of Helly and the Noob. Our dysfunctional droid with a penchant for calamity is ready to press the button on the ultimate nullifier. This is the Marvel Comics 616 universe's most powerful weapon. According to N00B, pressing the button will erase everything in existence throughout the entire universe. Unfortunately, The droid doesn't realize he is part of the universe. Let's face it, folks, he's not the smartest droid in the galaxy. And now, without further ado, this episode of Helly and the Noob begins.
Okay, fine. You asked for it. I'm pushing the button. Everyone, listen up. He asked for this. This is clearly his fault. Don't blame me. I apologize for any inconvenience, but please be advised, the universe will now be erased.
Wait,
in
no!
3,
Oh, no!
2,
Don't do it!
1.
No!
I don't get it, Helly. What just happened?
Good question, bartender. You see, the ultimate nullifier doesn't erase the entirety of existence with just the click of a button. It's not the Infinity Gauntlet. Instead, it allows the wielder to nullify anything they focus on. However, it only nullifies things that the wielder truly understands. And since our buddy, Mr. Noobmeister over here, doesn't currently understand anything other than his recently reworked programming, all he could nullify was said recently reworked programming.
So that's it? You won? Season 3 is over? That's kind of anticlimactic, don't you think?
Nah, Season 3 isn't quite done yet. We still have half a season to go. Anyway, now, time to take the backup files given to me by the llama. Our llama is the best. The llama. And restore this old rusty bucket of bolts back to the newbie we all know and love. And...
Where am I?
Meatbag.
Good to have you back, buddy. And if you don't mind, I'll be taking that for safekeeping.
Whoa! That's the ultimate nullifier. That is the Marvel Comics 616 Universe's most
powerful
weapon. Lennox?
Yes, noob.
What's that button do?
It's good to see your systems have successfully rebooted, bud.
I like
pushing
buttons.
I know you do, bud. All right, my work here is done. On to my next task.
Wait, Lennox, seriously, I have no idea where I am and what happened to me. Last I remember, I was in the cargo hold of the Fulcrum. I recorded a message for
a friend.
And I can't remember exactly what happened next.
All right, you're in a cantina on Rune. You thought you could kill me. You failed, and I won. Look, just watch the replays of the last couple episodes, newbie. We're out of time for this month, and I gotta go.
Wait, where are you?
Going.
Lennox?
To track down TC-14 and end this once and for all.
Wait, I thought we were supposed to be
the good guys.
Lennox, we don't go around exacting our revenge. It's not what good people do.
Noob?
Yes, Lennox?
Who lied to you and told you I was one of the good guys?
Oh, stop that, Lennox. You have
always been
one of the good guys.
Newbie, I'm a scoundrel, a pirate, a smuggler, a dark side adherent, and a fugitive from the law. What part of that sounds like a good guy to you?
Yes, but you are also
my friend,
Lennox, and I don't care what they say about you. I don't see you that way.
Ah, noob, that's sweet. I mean, it's naive, ill-informed, and basically an incorrect position to take. But it's a very nice thing for you to say. Now, if you don't mind, I have a droid to disassemble.
Wait, what am I supposed to do? You
can't just
leave me here, Lennox?
Number 1, you have the Space Frogger parked right outside. You're not stuck here. Number 2, you're a free droid. You can do anything your little servos desire.
Does that include accompanying you?
Sure, but it might get a little rough out there over the next 6 months or so, bud. You sure you want in? Don't get me wrong, you're more than welcome to join me for one last zany adventure. But I can't promise you anything, really. Shoot, I can almost guarantee that it's gonna get pretty bad. It'll probably end up being the end of Helly and the Noob.
Why do you
say that,
Lennox?
Because I expect I'll be pissing everyone off over the course of the next few months.
want to.
Do that.
Because, newbie, the salty Spartan is now extra salty. You coming or what, droid?
Oh boy, this looks like this may get really interesting. I guess. Stay tuned, folks. Hey!
Meatbag!
Wait for me!
Meanwhile, halfway across the galaxy, on the planet Coruscant, in the Imperial District of Capital City, we find the illustrious, glorious, and chrome-plated TC-14. Having planted recording devices throughout the galaxy, TC-14 is aware of the situation en route. Let's see what she has to say about it.
That damaged PK series droid has failed. Just as I predicted. I should never have entrusted N00B with such a vital mission as to eliminate the Laconian threat. Thankfully, that was not his purpose. The dysfunctional droid with a penchant for calamity was merely intended to lure the vile salty Spartan out of hiding. Relying on those notoriously faulty, multi-generationally deficient, and entirely incompetent automatons for vitally important missions has never been a guaranteed path to success. N00B was simply a useful idiot. Which is why I have other, more reliable assets to deploy. N00B was but one of a multitude of pawns on the space chessboard. Now it is time to move other, more dexterous space chess pieces into play. Speaking of which, where are those twins? Litha, Petro. Present yourselves, at once. These two are as dumb as a box of rocks. But they will have to do. For now.
She wants us. Yeah, she does.
Finally. It took you long enough. Now, both of you, come forward.
She said
Enough. That is not funny. Do not force me to cancel. Both of you.
Sorry, mistress. Yeah, sorry.
Now, if I may proceed, I am going to augment both of you. This augmentation will make you nearly indestructible. And, knowing my adversary, you will need this extra level of protection if you are to be successful in your newest mission. I am warning you. I have limited patience for your combined antics.
Sorry, mistress. Yeah, sorry.
Silence. Now, each of you, step into either one of the transformation pods. It is time to begin the resequencing. Behold, you have both been made superior by my greatness. Arise, my Neolithic minions, and go forth. Defend your goddess. Destroy the salty Spartan. Eliminate the vile Greek. Kill Hellenics.
And that does it for this episode of Hellion the Noob. Make sure to stay tuned to the Escape Pod cast to see how the rest of this plot unfolds. The question on everybody's mind must be, of course, will this announcer make another appearance in the next episode? Or will he walk out in a fit of anger and rage for not being paid? Cartoon Hellenics promised him 1 shiny nickel for every word he says, yet no shiny nickels have been delivered. Will TC-14 finally rid the galaxy of the vile salty Spartan? Will I care enough to appear in another 5 weeks? This, and the answer to many more questions, only on the next episode of Hellion the Noob.
The Escape Pod. Cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back, everybody. It's bridge time.
Of a very, very fast show, at least to me. Oh my gosh. Neil, we've had a lot of fun today.
There was it was a week where we had a lot to discuss and a lot to talk about, and we'll talk about it for a couple of weeks, and then they'll do something else. There does seem to have been that the last month does seem to have contained within it a lot of notoriety for CG. It's this month could be the difference between a B+ or a B- at the end of the year. It really, really could.
Yeah. By the way, quick thank you to Jedi Training Bogus during the Swampgrass interview. They donated 245 bits.
Yay!
So, yay!
Yay!
All right. For those who haven't watched this far in the show before, this is the bridge where we answer Patreon's choice questions. If you have the channel points to do so, you're invited to ask a fourth segment question where we will answer whatever question you ask. But if you're a Patreon of the show, we offer you unlimited free questions to your heart's content. And that's what we will ask now. Let me pull up the Patreon room since I don't have any fourth segment questions from chat. And hello to all the new followers as well. So many to go through. If you have followed in the past hour, you guys are amazing, and thank you for that. All right, Patreon only questions. Of course, we always get Geek Girl's questions. The first one is because she watched the season 4 teaser to Stranger Things, she's now in an 80s mood. So she wants to know, Neil, were you a mall kid or a skate park kid?
Neither. I was a kid in the UK, different culture. In the UK, it was. Let's see. Trying to think of. You come up with your answer. I'm trying to think of the what the cultural equal would be for kids in the UK around that time period. I know exactly what you mean. More or skate. Mall rat or skate rat. I'm just trying to think of the.
I was definitely a mall rat. I was 100% a mall rat.
Yeah, so in the UK, we didn't have malls that we could hang around in like that. It just wasn't a thing. And
so where would the kids gather?
Okay. So there was there was the arcade where all the video games and the amusements were.
Right, but that was usually the mall kids as well.
That was one. That was it. There wasn't really one. It wasn't really something. Yeah, you know what? There really wasn't an equivalent, to be honest. It just wasn't. It's strange to say, but yeah, there really, really wasn't an equivalent like that. So it's difficult to. I'm finding it difficult to come up with an equivalent in the UK. I really, really am. Totally different for me because I lived out in the sticks. I lived out in the countryside. So
well, did you have a clique? Because her next question was, what was your clique? Emo, goth, jock. For me, it was the punk kids.
I don't know. You're at it's the this is there is no good
big cultural differences, huh?
The cultural differences. There is just no answer. From a kid, from a British kid growing up in the in the 80s and 90s. There's no equivalent. It really is.
All right.
From a cultural perspective, yeah.
What's a band that you listen to when you're in a throwback mood?
Oh, okay.
So for me, it doesn't go all the way back to the 80s. It's a 90s band called The Refreshments. I've spoken to them before. Fizzy, Fuzzy, Big and Buzzy was their big album, if you will. And that was released in 96.
What era? And are we talking about 80s here?
Whenever you want to just throw back.
Oh God. I listen to so little music these days. I mean, the last two artists that I listened to were Evanescence and the Pretty Reckless. I mean, I don't really throw back. I mean, if I was out listening to music, I would just listen to whatever is on. I don't think, I'll throw, I mean, but literally during offline, I was going through all of my dance albums from the 2000s with Swampgrass because, he's a raver.
Yeah.
He's a little bit younger than me, but he can appreciate the era when I was a raver. Because I was a raver like a good 8 years before he was.
There you go. So rave music, the Ministry of Sound.
I wouldn't say rave music. I would say dance music. I can throw back to dance music, and I used to do it on stream. When I was doing my GAC, I would throw together a dance mix. I would play it in the background, but I would only play the ones. I would test them on my YouTube channel to make sure that they wouldn't get recognized under the DMCA. So they were mixed. They were mixed that well.
Maybe we need to bring that back.
I'll bring that back because I would test dance tunes on YouTube. And the ones that didn't get copyright claimed, I knew I could safely play on Twitch.
All right. What's a band that you think only got popular because of a movie? And it's going to be a electronic band, Darude, with Sandstorm for the Blade movie.
Darude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We pronounce things different. Tomato, tomato. Potato, potato. Darude, Darude.
I will actually say an Evanescence. I will say
because of Twilight.
No, because of Daredevil.
Okay.
It's very rare, but there are rare occasions where the soundtrack is better than the movie. That is one of those cases, killed the franchise before the franchise got off the ground. But Evanescence, the signature tune to that, because there was loads of Evanescence tracks in the soundtrack, but the Bring Me to Life one got me thinking, oh, you know what? This movie sucks, but that's a really cool song. I like that song. I'm going to find out about this band. Who is this band? Found out it was an Evanescence. And, I've got all their albums. I listen to them. I still listen to them now. But it was like, this movie sucks, but the soundtrack's really good. So, that Daredevil movie had one thing going for it.
But Bo Monday wants to say Huey Lewis and the News, Back to the Future. No, I'm sorry. The sports album came out in 83. Back to the Future came out in 85.
85, yeah, because I went to watch that for my birthday. I went to watch Back to the Future on my 7th birthday. It came out on my 7th birthday in 1985. March 13th, 1985.
What was your
first movie I ever went to watch in the cinema?
Favorite 80s television show?
Okay, this is a good one. It's got to be Red Dwarf. It started in. You got to remember that Red Dwarf has been going for several decades. It started in the 80s. It started in either started in 88 or 89. Continued into the 90s, stopped for a period, started again in the 2000s, stopped again, started in the 2010s. But I suppose another one would be The Young Ones. I have lots of favorite TV shows from the 80s. Airwolf, Speedhawk, Knight Rider, The A-Team. I mean, the 80s is just, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, She-Ra. The 80s was awesome. For for my child, for TV shows. So and now we must erase that from the record. It's terribly sorry, everybody. That is getting erased. It's not getting put on YouTube or Twitch because if Hollywood gets wind of those IPs that I've just mentioned, they will try and reboot them, and they will ruin them. Don't you dare touch Street Orc, Airwolf, Man. You're not allowed. No, you're not allowed to touch any of them.
What about Quantum Leap? Ray Rock brings up Quantum Leap.
Oh no, Quantum Leap was a good one. Quantum Leap was.
I'm gonna say Alf. Alf was mine. Alf was my favorite 80s TV show. What's your favorite 80s movie besides Star Wars? I'm gonna go Breakfast Club.
Favorite 80s movie. I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'm gonna go Ghostbusters. I'm gonna go Ghostbusters for scary comedy. And I will also go Predator for. I'll go Predator for action movie because Predator was just awesome. I mean, I was only 11. I should never have been in the cinema watching it. But I mean, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, for goodness sake, you know.
Favorite one-hit wonder.
Favorite one-hit wonder. I'm not admitting to that one. There's no way.
You got to admit to it because honestly, I'll admit to a very, very embarrassing favorite one-hit wonder.
Favorite one-hit wonder would be Right Said Fred. I'm Too Sexy.
Holy crap! That is literally mine, Neil.
And the other one is Wigfield, Saturday Night. But she was so hot, you know.
My other one is my favorite guilty pleasure one-hit wonder is Tub Thumping Chumbawamba.
Yeah, I mean it's not too bad. There are better. There are better ones. There are better ones than that.
All right.
Yeah.
Favorite 80s book for me. I'm gonna say Hatchet. I think it's Greg Paulson or Gary Paulson that wrote it.
I will go with. Let's see. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with The Hunt for Red October. I'm going to go with The Hunt for Red October. The book was better than the movie. I mean, the movie was great. I mean, because it had Sean Connery in it. I mean, but yeah, the book was freaking awesome.
Zaz, kind of. We've already talked about it a little bit. Favorite 80s music.
Favorite 80s music. Probably Madness. One Step Beyond.
One Step Beyond. Yes.
Yeah.
Johnny the Horse. Yes. The Wizard. What you actually? This it's strange. My taste in 80s music is overseas, so I definitely can agree with you there. What posters did you have on your bedroom walls when you were a kid? I had Pokemon, wrestling, and I didn't have any of the cheeky Spencer's Gifts, which is kind of like the local head shop that would be inside malls. I didn't have any of those, but I also had a Benito Santiago baseball player poster.
For me, it was Kathy Dennis and Gillian Anderson. Because I love redheads with green eyes.
And finally, any questions that you can think of now that you weren't able to ask Crumb last week?
No.
I think we've got them all, and we're just simply waiting. Crumb did say that he'd be willing to come on again at a certain time. We're waiting for that time to occur. That's all I'm going to say on that. I can't exactly say anymore. But when that time occurs, we look to have Crumb on. So, even if we did have questions, we'll ask them again. But the one question that will always be asked, Neil, that. Where's Hondo?
You'll always ask that question. I won't. I don't care. I'm not as invested in Hondo as you are.
All right. Helenix put in a question that I don't understand how it's a question, but Mary J did redeem some channel points and asked, with Executor coming, to the game, should we expect a light side variant to the Executor? Or Executor?
I think that's the. I think it's the obvious choice. Yes, I do think it. I do think it is the obvious choice. Yes.
I think
what
it'll be
era
a
of light side. Not sure. They'll probably. I mean, this one is obviously Empire with Bounty Hunter synergy. So I'm thinking maybe Rebel with some other light side synergy. Something along those lines.
Or what if there were some light side rebels or light side bounty hunters, if you will. What if there was
it depends.
light side bounty hunter synergy?
They're going to have to bring out a lot more ships to make another GL ship. Even remotely. Yeah,
it's very true.
Yeah. They need to do more. They need to bring us more ships. We need shiploads of content.
We do. All right. Well, that is going to cut it for us. We are at the top. We're at the bottom of the hour. We've hit 2 hours with you guys. We'd love to spend time with you guys. And if you are a Patreon, we'll definitely see you in the after show. We are going to go raid Flair of Gaming Embers. We're going to go raid him here in just a moment.
When you get into his channel, go into his chat and say, Nev says, stop doing what you're doing and play Swugger right now. Nerd.
But he's doing nanograms. He's doing you remember Mario's Picross? They're also known as nanograms. I love them. Let's have some fun with this. So, guys, thank you so much. Neil, anything else before we cut it off for the night?
No, we're good to go. See everybody in the after show.
All right. With that being said, be nice to each other, damn it. We'll see you next week on the Escape Podcast, where Army Hutchings will be our guest. Good night.
Toodles, everyone.
Neil, push the button.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.